Hello friends, today we will learn another important concept which is widely used in unit testing, that is known as mock, and also we will learn choosing the appropriate library for mocking in Android. What is the use of mock? When we need to use mock? Several times we found the actual object creation is heavy or complex. In that case, instead of creating the mock object, instead of creating the actual object, we use the mock object. For example, in our application, we use retrofit for network call. Also, we use several types of database connection. Maybe it's room database or object bus, realm. Creation of those classes or execution of the method calls is time consuming. That's why it's a heavy operation. Instead of that, or instead of creating the actual object or calling the actual method, we bypass those calls and we predict, or we can we use the mocked object and verify our behavior of the application. Similarly, we can say when object creation is complex also, like for builder design pattern, if the object is can be object of any class can be created only using builder, and we need to verify against different values of the class, then we use mock. Now, while writing unit testing, let's think that we are writing unit testing for a class utils, and we are verifying a method there, get review method, and that method needs another object, we can say that is score object, and based on the value of the score object we return different values. In this case, our main motto is not to is not on the get score method of the score object with but our motto is to verify the value which needs to be returned when when we are getting a particular score from the score object. In this case, instead of passing the actual value or creating actual object of score, we use the mocked one or mock object, so that we can say that or we can say that of um or return different values uh, for the score object, and verify our get review method behavior. Now, what is mock and what is spy? Mock we can consider as as a fake object or a fake behavior, while spy is used to bypass the any behavior of actual object. Spy is used along with the actual object, and while writing unit testing, there is one important thing we need to consider, that we should not mock the class for which we are verifying the behavior. Means in our previous example, we are trying to verify the behavior of get reviews method of utils class. That means while writing unit testing for this utils class, we should not mock the utils class. Instead of that, if required, then we can use spy for that utils class. There are plenty of libraries for mocking. Uh, One is Mockito, then PowerMock, and Mockk. Now, PowerMock is used for mocking the static classes and methods. But the major limitation is PowerMock has a mapping with particular version of Mockito. That means we cannot upgrade either Mockito or PowerMock seamlessly. We need to properly uh, take care of the versions or while upgrading any of these library. Otherwise, it will break the unit testing. Then also we can say that we are executing unit testing, that is fine, but we need to get the test coverage report, and for that generally we use Jacoco. PowerMock is not compatible with Jacoco. That means we cannot get the unit test coverage report for the methods where PowerMock is used. And also for nowadays there is PowerMock is development is passive, so it is difficult to get any community support. These are the major limitation of PowerMock. Now, Mockito. Oh, Mockito is used for mocking any object, but the major problem it had that it cannot be used for mocking final class and methods by default. However, there is workaround to mock final class and methods by adding mock marker inline in Mockito extension. And the second problem is that PowerMock cannot be used for mocking static methods and classes. And for that's why we used to use PowerMock for static methods and classes. These two are major limitation of Mockito. Now, when we see about Android development, nowadays we prefer to write code in Kotlin. In Kotlin, by default, all our classes and methods are final. That means if we use Mockito, then we need to add the inline marker. Then also we use late init var and we use object. Object is for that singleton class. We need to carefully consider while writing unit testing for late init variables and object class in in Mockito. Then also in Android we use lots of methods and classes that is provided by SDK, and those classes or methods are generally static. For example, looper. when we want to use looper dot get main looper. That means we cannot use Mockito here. Again, we need to use PowerMock. But using already we have got the limitation of PowerMock, that it cannot give you the code coverage report. In that case, is there any alternative? Because we found that we cannot use Mockito and PowerMock extensively while writing for Android development. But if you solve the mocking problem, then our test coverage report is missing. There is another newly introduced libraries, mock K. It is majorly used for unit testing of Kotlin. There are a lot more features with respect to Kotlin in mock K. We can mock a class, directly use mock k. Also we can mock static classes and static methods. Use mock static and then the class like looper class. Also we can we can mock an object using mock object method. Also the setup is pretty simple. Only we need to add the mock K dependency in test implementation, in build Gradle of our app level. Is there any limitation of mock K? It is observed that while running or executing any unit test, uh, that works fine, or unit testing works fine. But when you run all the unit tests in a group, then there is some problem for unmocking and mocking once again. To avoid that, or to get rid of that issue, clear all mocks and unmock all before any unit test. That means we can write that clear all mocks method and unmock all method inside, or while writing the inside a method which has the before annotation. In this way we can get rid of the problem of mock K. The more details of mock K, Mockito we can get from their official documents. Thank you.